I was getting ready to make a video, which I'm going to hopefully be able to make. I'll make after this video, of a completely different tone and attitude. To wish our own brother Brent over at Armed and All Heart, good luck tomorrow when he competes at the IPA Nationals at York Barbell, which I'll of course be in attendance. Val and I are going to definitely be there to support our brother, and it's the same event that Brother Bulldog is going to be there in his attempt to be only the 5th man in the world to ever bench 700 pounds raw. But he'll be the first man to do it at a body weight of less than 300 pounds. So it's all really pretty amazing and good stuff. And I wanted to make a really good, motivational, upbeat video, and display a lot more enthusiasm. But prior to that, to making the video, which I haven't made yet, so this is still prior to that, I decided to Google my good old dear friend Gene Rychlak to see if he was still chairman of the IPA, because I've been out of the loop a while in powerlifting circles like that, and I'm sorry to say that I've drifted apart from that entire crowd, and I haven't seen Gene or spoken to him in quite a while. Just time flies. But I hoped I would see him tomorrow. I was looking forward to that. So I Googled, and I see where he passed away. He passed away a few months ago in July. Passed away in July of this year from a heart condition. So that completely took the wind right out of my sails. It's like I've said many times, you live long enough, you're going to see a lot of people pass, man. You're going to see a lot of family, a lot of friends pass away. You're going to lose a lot of people. The longer you live, the more people you're going to lose. And then one day, it's your turn. So I got this small batch, 4 roses. Just a single barrel. And I like this stuff pretty good bit. So here's to Gene Rychlak, gentle giant, and a man that I had an incredible amount of respect for, not only as a man, not only as a powerlifter, not only as a legend in powerlifting, and for his incredible accomplishments, but more than that, I had respect and appreciation for that man as a human being. As a human being, for who he was, how he was, even why he was. So Gene, brother, wherever you are, if you're anywhere that you can be aware of this, Godspeed, and rest in peace. I have spoken about Gene in videos here before on this channel. You've seen me wear Rychlak Power Systems shirt that Gene gave me. It had the neck cut out like a boat neck. And I've mentioned it before, but it's certainly worth speaking on again, is Gene came from a mom and a dad. He grew up with a mom and a dad who could neither speak nor hear. The pair, neither one of them. And he said that it had such an impact on him growing up and observing, just seeing as a child, just seeing the way people approached or treated or interacted, these exchanges, the condescension, and the way that people dealt with his parents, because through their ignorance, they attributed that they couldn't speak and they couldn't hear. They treated them more or less like they were mentally inferior, or that there was something wrong with them in that regard. Just that they didn't have access, to those two senses. And that had a big impact on him. Gene was absolutely an anti-bullying type of guy. And he was a huge, strong guy. He was the first man to bench 900 pounds. He was the first man to bench 1,000 pounds. At the time, he and Scott Mendelson were bouncing back and forth with the record. One time, I don't know what he was attempting then. I think he wound up benching 1,010. I think was his best. But he had been at 1,000 and maybe he'd gotten to 110, I don't remember, but he was trying for more. And it was at York Barbell, and I was in attendance, and I was only there because I knew everybody that was competing. So many people were competing that I trained with and were friends of mine, that I was just there in attendance, just for support and just to watch. I was a spectator. And I was there, and I think it was Bobby Fields maybe, came out and found me in the crowd where I was seated and came up to me and said, "Jimmy, Gene wants you in the back. He needs to see you. He wants you to help spot him when he comes out for his attempt." And of course, I'm not expecting this. I'm there as a spectator, and I'm thinking, my God, he wants me to spot him. Never spotted him before. He's all that weight, over 1,000 pounds. That responsibility, that's really frightening. I mean, think about it. She's your friend, a man you have a lot of appreciation and respect for. And this is his life. I mean, figuratively and literally. He's going to be under all that weight, and you're going to spot him. You're going to be responsible for some aspect of that. So, of course, I get up, I go in the back to talk to Gene, and he's back there, and he's seated on a bench, and he's getting himself together, getting himself ready. And he says, "Jimmy, I need you to do me a favor. I don't want their spotters spotting me. I want my own spotters. I want to pick my spotters. I want you to be one of my spotters." What are you going to say? I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what that exactly would encompass. But I ended up, and I have pictures somewhere, but that were taken, other people took in the crowd on the stage, on the platform. I was to his right, one of his spotters. He had 2 spotters on each side and a spotter in the middle, But it was just an honor and a privilege, incredible honor, that he would even, seek me out, that he had enough trust in me. That he would prefer me to be one of his spotters over having their spotters who do it all day long, right? He'd rather pick his own, and I was one of the ones he would pick out of the 5. And that really was touching to me, Gene was a very powerful guy, man. He gentle giant, and he was known, of course, for his benching, but he was strong in every lift. You can Google on YouTube at Southside down there back in the day, when everybody trained with everybody, all of us, and those guys were all together. And I think the video is Brian Weston. Brian's doing a squat workout with Gene, and I think Gene was doing 900 pounds for 5 or 7 or something like that. I mean, he had all 3 lifts. He was a big, strong guy. He just specialized in bench. And I'll tell you, he was a heavy guy. He was a big, tall, heavy guy, just a giant. And a lot of those guys are, man. You meet a lot of these strength athletes and stuff, the top guys that you see on TV and shit. Those guys are huge. They're not only just big, they're tall. And Gene was a big, tall, big, massive guy, but he had a big heart. He was a good, gentle guy, kind and considerate and compassionate. I remember seeing him at Mike Miller's gym, Nazareth Barbell. We were up there, a bunch of us were training, and I'm doing my bodybuilding shit, of course, and they're all doing powerlifting stuff, and Gene was there, and I saw Gene, he took his shirt off, and he didn't have a shirt on, he was doing pull-ups, and his body weight on the light side. If he was 340, I think that would have been on the light side of his, when he was big, and he did 10, 12 pull-ups, body weight pull-ups. They were real legit pull-ups. At that, we just jumped up, grabbed the bar, banged out 10 or 12 reps, and you could literally see the muscle in his back just swelling up and just bulging out. He's just a big mountain of muscle and kindness. I think there were one time when people were criticizing him, as busters will do, about his 1,000-pound bench, I think. Maybe it was that, maybe it was when he did 900, I don't know. But it was this world record bench, one of them, and they were criticizing him, saying he was a belly bencher. He's a belly bencher, he's fat, he's a belly bencher. And, that bothered him. I don't know that he ever came out and told, anybody would hear about it, that it bothered him, but it bothered him. And he lost, he died it all. I don't know what it was, 25 pounds, 40 pounds? I think it was 40 pounds. I might be wrong. I think it was 40 pounds. He dropped down like 40 pounds. And he came back and he bested his world record lift by another 5 or 10 pounds. He had 40 pounds less body weight. So, he was a warrior, man. He was a fighter. Gene was the epitome of what Gorilla with a Cause is best about. Gene was a guy who was, a lot of people, maybe he was an underdog who ended up being top dog, but he was always such a good guy. Every interaction I had with him, what a good guy. And it's just a shame that you get wrapped up in your lives, and people move away, go away, drift apart, and you always think that you have more time. That's me anyway. You always think there's more time. You always think there's more time, And before you know it, there isn't any more time. And it's too late. And you've lost another friend, or you've lost another person, and you just hope that they at least realized that they were not forgotten. I know that he was, I'm one person, I'm one little person. There were so many people that respected and admired him and followed him. But my point is that even though we hadn't seen each other in so many years, I never forgot his kindness and his compassion and just his warmth and who he was. And I always, have maintained a huge amount of respect for that man. And a fondness, a great fondness for him. So, there are fair weather people that come and go. And when you're on top, everybody wants to be, seen with you or next to you or associated with you. And then there are people that are legit and you really make a sincere impression upon. And that's for life. And that's the opinion, that's the way that I looked at him, that he was good for life with me. Just one of those people that you wish there were more of, or you wish that you would run into more of and have, experiences with more of, but unfortunately there are not. And there are relatively few people in the world that you're in your lifetime that make that kind of an impression, you know. So that's that. I mean, it's not really that. You know, my condolences go out to his wonderful wife, Amy, and you know, again, here's to Gene. Here's to Gene. You know, superstar bench presser, charismatic rock star, and just a good, kind, gentle, loving soul.